Please be seated. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and to our sixth form boys. It is a privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you all to our annual speech day and matric farewell ceremony. A highlight and one of the most important functions on the school calendar. Over the years, this ceremony has become an emotional roller coaster as we recognize the academic success of the top students and bade farewell to the sixth form group. Today promises to be no different, even though we have a unique setup and a luncheon, a first at college, I would presume. We are delighted to have such a good turnout on this occasion, which is always nostalgic and very special, particularly for the senior boys and their parents. This function reflects the sport and cultural and academic achievements of the 2020 matric group. Unlike any other year, after having lost so many matric rites of passage, they have shown grit and determination in true college fashion, have taken on the year, and for the most part, and for most of the teaching staff, have been passionate and disciplined young men. Yesterday we saw our beloved Rusty the Rhino being carried by the matrics from one quad to the next, encouraged by loud cheers from their peers. There were also heartfelt, emotional moments when the songs and shouts that should have reverberated over Goldstones on a winter's day this year were echoed in the quads as our matrics bid the other forms farewell. Teaching boys, college boys specifically, is one of the most compelling reasons why so many members of staff have very little desire to explore pastures beyond the college boundaries. I use this opportunity to now single out and welcome some of the guests. Firstly, our guest of honor, Mr. Dave Beatar, Headmaster of Merkeston, who will be formally introduced to you later. I take this opportunity, however, of thanking you, sir, for joining us today. Mrs. Dlamini, our circuit manager in the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education, graces us with her presence. You are thanked for your loyal support of our school. Mr. Doug Mandel, chairman of the governing body, and Mrs. Mandel are present. The college family appreciates not only the hours of sacrifice you have made, but also your strong and sound leadership at the helm. The Maritzburg College Old Boys Association is represented by its president, Mr. Grant Little. We use this occasion to record our gratitude to you for your unwavering support in all matters related to the school. We also recognize in their absence the school principals and representatives from a number of our feeder primary schools. It is important to publicly acknowledge the role that your schools play in keeping Maritzburg College afloat. We are still in the fortunate position that we have so many quality primary schools that continue to send us learners who identify strongly with our ethos and standards. We value the contribution and support we receive from the high schools that we have regular contact with. It is impractical to mention by name all the people who give so freely and willingly of their time and expertise in the service of our school. In their absence then, to all the members of the Maritzburg College Board, governing body, past and present, past chairman of the governing body, Archives, Finance, Goldstones Club Committees, Maritzburg College Old Boys Association, executive and past presidents, the foundation, sponsors, and the trust. The hours that you spend on this campus do not go unnoticed nor unappreciated. And finally, parents of the sixth form, I take this opportunity of thanking you and your unwavering and balanced support, both of your son and the school, over the 5 years or so. I trust that you now will enjoy this special college occasion.
This morning's reading comes from Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 to 11. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain for their toil? Workers gain for their toil. I've seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time, and He has also set eternity into the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end.
Today's reading is taken from Surah Ar-Rahman, chapter 27, verse 1 to 13. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan, Allamahu al-Bayan, Ash-Shamsu wal-Qamaru bihusban, Wan-Najmu wash-Shajaru yasjudan, Was-Sama'a rafa'aha wa wada al-Mizan, Ala tatkhaw fil-Mizan, Wa akimu al-Wazna bil-Qisti wa la tukhsiru al-Mizan, والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو الأسف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. The Most Merciful taught the Quran. He created man and taught him to speak. The sun, the moon orbit in calculated courses, and the creeper and the tree prostrate. Allah raised the sky and formed the scales so that you do not transgress in the matter of the scale, and so that you establish the scale with justice, and you do not make the scale deficient. Allah has placed the earth for people. On it are fruit, palms with sheet stalks, seeds as chaff, and sustenance as well. So which favors of your Lord do you deny?
In the Aranyakanda chapter of the Ramayana, Lord Rama explains to Mother Shabri what the 9 modes of devotion to the Lord are, as follows. The first in order is company with saints or association with righteous people. The second is marked by a fondness for my stories and scriptures. Humble service at the lotus feet of one's teacher is the third form of devotion, while the fourth type of devotion consists in singing my songs with a pure heart. Chanting my name with unwavering faith constitutes the fifth form of adoration revealed in the Vedas. The sixth variety consists in the practice of self-control and virtue, and pursuing the course of conduct prescribed to saints. He who practices the seventh type of devotion is fills his world with me, without distinction or discrimination. He who cultivates the eighth type of devotion remains content with whatever he has and never detects faults in others. The ninth form of devotion demands that one should be guileless and straight in one's dealings with everybody, and should in his heart cherish faith in me without exaltation or depression. He who possesses any one of these 9 modes of devotion, be he man or woman, or any creature, is most dear to me, your God.
Please can you bow your heads for the prayer? Pater Noster, Quaes and Kalis, Sanctificator, Nomen Tum, Adveniat Regnum Tum, Fiat Valensis Tua, Sicet in Cala et in Terra, Pater Nostrum Quaterianum de Nobis Odiae, et demita nobis debita nostra, Sicet nos demitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in teta tionum, celibua nos amalo, quatim is regnum, potentiae glora, and saculora saculorum. Amen.
Please, can you join us in the prayer for Africa as printed on your programs? Most gracious God, your Son Jesus Christ sat among the teachers in the temple at Jerusalem, listening and asking questions, and all were amazed at his understanding. Grant to college a like spirit, that all who teach and all who learn may grow together towards that wisdom and love which come from you, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Mr. Dave Beta, our guest of honor, staff, parents, the sixth form of 2020, and boys of college returning in 2021. May I add my word of welcome to you all. Mr. Beta, thank you very much for your attendance here today as we honor the sporting, cultural, and academic achievements of the class of 2020, and we certainly look forward to your address. Mr. Beta is well known to many of our boys, and he will be formally introduced by Deputy Head Prefect Thomas Katzenellenbogen. I wish to commence my address by mentioning the wonderful Old Boys induction ceremony held here in the Alan Payton Memorial Hall on Thursday the 22nd of October last term. It was indeed an auspicious occasion as our sixth form men were inducted into the fold of an old boy fraternity that goes back 157 years, an endless chain of brotherhood. I thank the President, Mr. Grant Little, for his very welcoming speech and acknowledging the sixth form boys in such a positive light. The head boy of 2016, Craig Glover's pertinent message to the boys certainly encouraged them to reflect on how fortunate they are to have attended college and to be prepared for the world that awaits them. The 2020 valedictorian, Deputy Head Prefect Thomas Katzenellenbogen, valedictory speech, reflected on the past 5 years and the appreciation of all that is special in the community that is college, and the members of the Old Boys Executive for their efforts in making it such a memorable event. The format of my address today is to focus only on our sixth form, so we will therefore acknowledge departing staff at our second to fifth form prize giving, which is on Friday, the 4th of December. At this point, I wish to recognize the significant contribution by the senior leaders of the school. The leadership role for the prefects is an onerous one. An inexperienced 18-year-old has to perform a balancing act between that of setting the benchmarks in all that they do, being a mentor to their peers and lower formers, being a policeman in ensuring good order, being the custodian of college tradition, and to hold a significant pastoral responsibility in the school and BE, amongst others. This year, due to the pandemic, their role has been even more demanding and complicated than ever. Our head prefect, Chris van Heerden, and his deputies, Kent Goodeke, Thomas Katzenellenbogen, Thabo Mbata, and Cade Morsink, as well as the rest of the 2020 prefect body, have done sterling work in extremely difficult circumstances and led from the front in all aspects of college life. Thank you for your commitment and endurance in seeing things through to the end. It has not been easy, and your resilience has certainly been tested. The statement, "It is not how you start the job that matters, but how you finish it," resonates truthfully in this instance. You took up the challenge with gusto, and you have certainly finished strong. I wish to also acknowledge and thank the house leaders on the various roles that you have fulfilled with the houses. I know that the house masters have appreciated your commitment and passion. The co-curricular and additional successes of this group, significantly reduced due to COVID-19 regulations, will be recognized later in this combined ceremony. All the achievements are clearly chronicled in the headmaster's addendum for further information, and I invite you to refer to it on the D6 or the website. The sixth form of 2020 will be remembered for different reasons from the normal. When one looks back in years to come, as they've had to deal with what has now become the cliched new normal. They will be remembered as the group who led from the front as they took the rest of the school through the COVID-19 pandemic regulations and displayed incredible resilience, dear settings for Moa, Ukukina, and the core value of courage, Isibini. Please join me in acknowledging this incredible group of young men, the sixth form of 2020. Today, your academic as well as your sport and cultural achievements are being honored at this ceremony, a wonderful way for the school to recognize and celebrate the choices and sacrifices you have all made. But what I believe should make you and your parents the proudest of all is everything you had to do to excel. However, I challenge you not to be idle, but to continue to strive to be the best that you can be in your NSC final exams, confirming one of the goals for 2020, to foster a growth mindset. These are the first steps to your future. My message today focuses on providing you with possible tools that will hopefully instill in you the stamina, resilience, fortitude, perseverance, and probably most importantly, the motivation to keep going through difficult times, as COVID is going to be around for some time. The first point that I'd like to share with you is, know who you are. You need to know who your authentic self is. Good. You need to understand your why. You need to understand your purpose. And when you do, it will fuel your drive. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Know who you are. The second point that I'd like to share with you is take responsibility for your life. Bob Mowat, author and life coach, challenges you on the following. The best day of your life is the one on which you decide your life is your own. No apologies or excuses. No one to lean on, rely on, or blame. The gift is yours. It is an amazing journey, and you alone are responsible for the quality of it. This is the day your life really begins. Stay focused on the big picture. Visualize the future and make it happen. Start today. Enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, take stock, review, and start again. Take responsibility for your life. The third point that I'd like to share with you is determine your priorities. Stephen Covey, well-known author and educator, says, you have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage to say no to other things. The way you do that is by having a bigger yes burning inside. Brainstorm your ideas and write them down. Create small bite-sized goals and review them regularly. Determine your priorities. The fourth and final point that I'd like to share with you is persevere when life is difficult. Through adversity comes strength. Be active. Exercise every day for at least 30 minutes. Surround yourself with people who will push you, encourage you, challenge you. Try meditation. Use motivational quotes and display them so you can see them daily. Vince Lombardi, one of the most successful American football coaches in the history of the game, said the following on perseverance. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will. Do not give up. Persevere. I wish you every success as you travel the road in pursuit of your dreams. I will now conclude with a poem by Donna Levine titled, You Can Be Whatever You Want to Be. There is inside you all of the potential to be whatever you want to be. All of the energy to do whatever you want to do. Imagine yourself as you would like to be, doing what you want to do, and each day take one step towards your dream. And though at times it may seem too difficult to continue, hold on to your dream. One morning you will awake to find that you are the person you dreamed of, doing what you wanted to do, simply because you had the courage to believe in your potential and to hold on to your dream. I congratulate you on your resilience, determination, effort, and achievements. I commend your parents, teachers, mentors, coaches, and all who have supported you on the journey which you have traveled at college. I wish you a bright future as you continue on your lifelong journey. God bless Peoris et Focus. Thank you. Please stand as we join together and sing the college anthem.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, like so much this year, sees a slight change to our normal program of events. Due to COVID-19 and the restrictions thereof, we were unable to hold our annual Sports and Cultural Awards ceremony, a ceremony which celebrates the success of our top achievers in the co-curricular arena. The school took the decision this year to split that ceremony and present the trophies to our sixth formers at today's speech day, and then the balance of the awards for those in second to fifth form at the end of year prize giving. Sadly, due to the events of this year, a number of our sports and cultural trophies are not able to be awarded. The members of the School Games Committee and Cultural Affairs Committee, the two committees that govern sport and culture, have applied themselves where possible to award as many of the trophies where realistic and in the spirit of the original trophy. In some instances, we have widened the definition and even asked the boys in certain groups themselves to vote. Sadly today, none of the special prizes will be awarded, as the number of boys who compete for these top special trophies are often many and in very diverse realms of sport and culture. And without the completion of particularly the sporting year and the provincial and national seasons, to make these awards subjectively as staff would just be too difficult. Despite the difficulties faced this year, I would like to commend our top sportsmen and cultural boys on persevering where they could in 2020. Regardless of the actual time spent participating this year, you still have made an impact on your sport or society and left it in a strong place, hopeful for capitalizing on in 2021. I would also just like to very briefly thank the college staff for their continued efforts in the co-curricular field and allowing us as a school to offer such a diverse range of activities. I will now move on to the award of those trophies, starting with the cultural section, and I invite Mr. Bitar to come forward to present those trophies. He will be assisted as well by Mbata. Boys, once you come up, get your trophy from Mr. Bitar, head off the side of the stage to the photographers and have your photo there. For those of you who would like to follow, the trophies are listed in the programs on the table. So starting with the individual cultural trophies, the Robertson Trophy for Outstanding Service to the Audiovisual Society, Connor Kisby Green. The Douglas Comrie Memorial Trophy for Outstanding Contribution to the Choir, and the Music Revival Trophy for The Douglas Comrie Memorial Trophy for Outstanding Contribution to the Choir, and the Music Revival Trophy for Contribution to Music, A.J. Wesley. The McGibbon Trophy for Best Stage Actor, Chris Van Selm. As I'm sure many of you have seen on social media this past weekend, Chris has received a scholarship to the New York Film Academy for next year. The Christopher Daigan Trophy for Excellence in Music Performance, Michael Thomas. The Lut Muller Trophy for Contribution to the Afrikaans Society, Chris van Heerden. The Calder Trophy for Public Speaking, Robert Ackerman. The Maritzburg College Speakers Circle Trophy for the Most Improved Public Speaker, Harshad Muralal. And the Graham Holder Trophy for Outstanding Contribution to the Media Centre, Ryan Hassim. I'll now move on to the individual sports trophies. The DJ Barry Jennings Cup for Under-18 Athletics Champion, and College Shield and Victor Ladorum for Athletics, Matt Zunkel. The Green Helge Cup for the Most Valuable Basketball Player, and the Ron Jury Trophy for Best All-Round Basketball Player, Shlaganipo Ngobo. Ngobo, photo. The Arnold Mosia Trophy for the Best Defensive Basketball Player, Adrian van Straten. The Slow Ngobo Memorial Trophy for Outstanding Contribution and Service to Basketball, Sifundo Manyati. The Oscar Servant Trophy for the highest placed junior in the Doozy Canoe Marathon, owing to a doubles year, goes to Lance Arnold and Thomas Ross. The Maritzburg College Trophy for the Chess Player of the Year, Nicholas Watmore. The Oscar Servant Trophy for the Best All-Round Cricketer in the First 11, and the Skonk Nicholson Trophy for the Most Committed Player in the First Rugby 15 program, Kent Goodicke. The Johnston Trophy for stroke play champion in golf, Ethan Goff. The Shrives Trophy for the most committed player in the first hockey 11, Matt Vienstra. The Oscar Servant Trophy for Fellowship in Hockey, Ben Jackson. Trophy for the Players Player of the Year in the first rugby squad, Clebo Dlamini. The Frank Lambert Cup for the best overall shotist, and the McLean Trophy for best shotist in the standing position, Yuzile Mulefi. The Oscar Servant Trophy for the best performance at the Championship Gala, and the Bill Henry Trophy for Open Swimming Champion Chris van Heerden. The Oscar Servant Trophy for the most committed tennis player in the first team, Thomas Katzen-Ellenbogen. And the Sean Burgoyne Fellowship Trophy for water polo, Quinn Lupton-Smith. The final trophy this morning is the Forder Cup for Champion House, and obviously with a mixed year we were not able to fully complete the inter-house program. However, we were able to complete 7 events, 4 of which included the Big 5, so there is some validity still to awarding this cup this year. And I'm going to ask the house captain to come up and receive this trophy. But the Forder Cup for Champion House in 2020 once again is Commons House. Thank you, Mr. Vito. This concludes the first part of our ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short comfort break of just a few minutes. If possible, please do not leave your tables unless you need to. Otherwise, the toilets are available, but please do not leave the hall. We'll be back in just a few short minutes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please take our seats? Thank you. Thank you. College gentlemen, please put on your blazers. I'd like to now invite Chris van Heeren, our head boy, for his address.
Good morning, Mr. Lumen, special guests, staff, parents and boys. Today is a day that many of us have dreamt of, yet wished would never arrive. There's an indescribable feeling within these young men sitting here today, a feeling that only a college boy will understand. When we arrived at college, it was just another chapter in our lives, a new school, new friends, and more work. Over the years, we have realized how much the school means to us. We did not expect to walk in here as strangers and come out as brothers. It is often repeated how special a school is and how amazing the brotherhood is within it. But one needs to experience it for oneself to appreciate these amazing attributes. I overheard one of our first team props, Cholip, explaining to someone the other day the feeling of running out from underneath the arch. The way he described it gave me goosebumps. He explained the feeling of running through the arch onto the field in front of 1,300 boys and what it meant to him with such emotion that it left me speechless and overwhelmed. It was a true reflection of what the school means to us boys and how special it is. The colors red, black and white have become part of our blood. It is what we have breathed, cried and sweated for the past 5 years. The uttering of the 7-letter word COLLEGE leave other scholars trembling, but excites those who back it. This badge, it is engraved into our hearts and our souls, which make us one. All the arguments of whose primary school was better and where the day boys or boarders ruled, the shaking hands and sweaty palms of team testing, the sore throats on a Saturday after non-stop shouting while overalls are screaming, "Give it millies," and the goosebumps from head to toe at Friday night shouting. From the learning names and dodging sixth form to becoming the ones whose names get learned and who get dodged. All of these are just a glimpse of what we have experienced through these 5 years and the things that make us who we are today. Over our college years, some of us have lost people dear to us. Some have faced more challenging obstacles, and some have had near-death experiences. But we were never alone. We always had our college brothers right there beside us, supporting, encouraging, and helping us all the way. These are the men that have your back. They will carry you on their shoulders when you're down. These are the men that will take a bullet for you. These men sitting here today, they're not just your peers or your teammates, they are your family. Yes, we have had our differences, and yes, we do not always agree, but no family is perfect. Unfortunately for us, this year was extremely far from the mature year that we have dreamt of. Why us? Why did it have to happen in the year when we have finally arrived at the top? So many things that we looked forward to were denied in the end. Through all the challenges and setbacks this year, we have risen above them. There's a quote that says, "When the going gets tough, the tough get going." And that is exactly what we did. We stepped up to the plate and showed the people around us and ourselves that we do not back down when things get tough. This is the mark that we have left and the legacy that we will be remembered by. We are the class that the history books are going to get written about and the future college boys are going to get told about. I would like to thank all the parents, staff, and old boys for everything that they have done for us and for the school over the past 5 years, especially this year. The amount of work that gets put in behind the scenes to make college a better place for us boys is sincerely noted. We are grateful for everything that you have done for us. College would not be such an amazing and special place without your help and support. Being elected as head boy was not only an honor and a privilege, but a dream come true. Having to face different challenges and overcome them week after week would not have been possible without the help of my deputies, my prefects, my fellow sixth form brothers. Leading the school during lockdown was an incredibly challenging task, but I have learned so many life-changing lessons from it. I would like to thank all my family, friends, teachers, and boys that have provided me with advice, encouragement, help, and support throughout this year, and that helped me to be the best possible head prefect that I could be. I would also like to thank the Lord for blessing me with leadership capabilities and helping me lead this incredible school. My goal was to be a role model and to inspire those around me, and I hope that I have achieved it. I would like to wish all the prefects and sixth form of 2021 all the best and a successful year. To second, third, fourth, and fifth form, the future of college is now in your hands. We have done all that is in our power to take college to greater heights, and now we are handing it over to you. You have witnessed how suddenly a year can change without warning, and I hope that you have learned from it. Do not take your time here for granted and create great memories where possible. I also would like to thank you for being my fellow college brothers. Keep the things that make college alive and give us a reason to be proud of you. Always remember, don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. To my fellow sixth form brothers, make an effort to take in this moment. Do you feel that feeling inside of you? I've tried to avoid the thought of not seeing some of you maybe for the rest of my life. I've tried to avoid the thought of 5 unforgettable years filled with laughter, tears, and so many memories that have finally come to an end. The sad truth is that we accept the fact that our time has come and gone. Take a second and think of your favorite memory that you have made at college. Most of us have something in our minds that cannot be relived again. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I could come to love a bunch of young men such as you as much as I do. But it's because we are brothers to the last fight, to the last hope, and to the last breath, and we will miss these walls until the very end. Unfortunately, the time has come to say goodbye and part our separate ways. But we can always come back to the place where our hearts will ever remain. I'll miss you, my brothers, and I wish you all the best, wherever you may be and wherever you may go. The red, black, and white will forever be our home. Bro, Oris, get focused. Thank you.
Time grabs you by the wrist and directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, and in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang them on a shelf and in good health and in good time. Tattoos these memories and this test goes on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Good morning and a warm welcome to our guest of honor and to the Maritzburg College staff, boys and parents. Today, I have the single privilege of introducing our guest of honor, Mr. Dave Bitar. And as is a custom, with an introductory speech, it's now time for a little bit of history about a respected man that so many of our boys sitting in front of us today know as their ex-headmaster. So many boys started with him in grade 1 as their headmaster, and now at their final prize giving, being presented prizes by him. Mr. Bitar was born in Durban, and he matriculated at New Forest High School in 1974, and served 18 months national service. Mr. Bitar obtained an HDE, a higher diploma in education, from Edgewood College of Education in 1981. Played first-class rugby for Maritz Old Boys and Rovers as scrum-half and represented Natal Dakers. Mr. Bitar taught at Doon Heights Primary School for 2 years and taught at Clarence Primary in Durban for 5.5 years. A man truly dedicated to education, then took his path at Merkeston in July 1988 and took charge of the boarding establishment from Mr. Graham Waters. After serving as HOD and Deputy Headmaster, Mr. Bitar was awarded the headmaster position in 1997. Apart from all of this and all these achievements, and from his support of sporting fixtures on the weekends, Mr. Bitar is an avid golfer and a surf paddle skier. And besides this, he's also an honorable father and husband after being married to Trish, his wife, for 38 years and has 3 sons, Matthew, Nathan, and Andrew. He is the longest-serving headmaster of Merkeston and retires at the end of 2020 after 33 years of service to the school. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Bitar.
Don't worry, it's 18 font, so it's not as thick as you think it is. That's what happens, head boy, when we get older, we got to go 18 font and not 12. Mr. Lumen, Mrs. Lamini, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen of Maritzburg College, I'm both honored and privileged to be a part of this special and intimate occasion. With my impending retirement only a few months away, I've been thinking about my life and my career and the important lessons that I have learned and what could I pass on to you that you might well remember in 20 years' time. So I asked my youngest son, Andrew, who's in his 3rd year at Tickies, if he remembered who was the guest of honor at his final speech and prize giving and what the message was. The simple answer was, no idea, Dad. So obviously I was quite anxious, thinking, how do I get these college boys to remember anything that I say today? Andrew did say, though, that he's got 3 tips to give you boys. First of all, if you go to Pretoria, there's a place called The Strip. It's cool and you need to frequent it. Secondly, he said ask your parents to make sure your allowance is every 10 days, not 30 days, because you won't last 10 days. And then buy underpants or jocks, as you call it, with zip-up pockets for your cell phone. It's the safe thing to do. I trust, again, that you boys will remember some of the things I have to share with you today. 6 years ago, you attended schools such as Merkeston, Pelham, Durban Prep, Harbury, Cornwallis, and many other schools. Some of you Merkeston boys will remember my rugby team talk, the one that was worthy of going on to the latest Chasing of the Sun series, and it went like this. Are you going to allow another dog to come into your yard and cuck on the lawn? No, sir, would be the scream from the Merkeston Mudrats. Well, then get out there and do it to them before they do it to you. And off they would run, fueled with passion for the game and for their school. And you boys went out and you continued the decade-old campaigns against opposition schools. You were arch rivals on the playing fields. Yet here you are today, 5 years after leaving primary school, a cohort of young men who are forged together through college spirit, college experience, and college tradition. I think it's remarkable, 5 years later, here you are, this band of brothers. In life, we meet many people. Some stay for a short while, and others stay for a lifetime. They come into our lives and have an immediate impact upon us, which is immeasurable. Boys, you need, or not boys, gentlemen, you need to savor this moment, savor this time together. Cherish your brotherhood that you have forged. This is my first lesson. Celebrate the people who come into your life. The second one is be grateful Be grateful for your parents, for your family. They're the ones who love you. They're the ones who've supported you. They're the ones who sacrificed so much for you. Be grateful to your parents. Be grateful for the mistakes that you make, for they have taught you the most. Be grateful for the trials and tribulations you have experienced throughout your life, in particular this year. It builds your character. It builds your personality. Be grateful for your critics, for they will keep you humble. And then finally, be grateful to your opponents, since it's among them that you will have to keep your head high. Lesson 3, you have not finished your education just yet. I know you are wise enough and mature enough to realize that you have not finished this. Life is a continual process of learning, growing, strengthening, and stretching your capacity to do, to love, and to give. Your matric certificate introduces you to the world. It's a license for opportunity. The world has 2 things for you, and it expects 2 things of you: to be honest with yourself and to be honest with other people. Education isn't a degree. It's connecting and learning from different people of different ages and different stations in life. At Merkiston, I have a special greeting for my junior primary boys from triple R, 4 years, through to about 9 years of age. And we use 2 fingers and we touch our heart. 2 fingers, I care. And this is a precursor to learning how to doff their caps or their bashes, so they just automatically, so when they see me, it's like, that's it. No words spoken. And it's cool. There's a little chap in our junior primary, and he has his own style of greeting. He raises 2 fingers to his eyes, like John Travolta did to Uma Thurman in the film Pulp Fiction, and he goes like this to me. The lad is none other than Mr. Marwick's youngest son. And just when I thought I'd learned it all, maybe he's saying, I'm watching you, I'm not quite sure. Lesson 4 is about a young matriculant, your age. Concluded his studies, never knew what he wanted to do with his life. His name was Oscar. His parents agreed, Thomas, to a gap year overseas to find himself. We were discussing that a short while ago. After some time of wandering around the English countryside, a farmer gave him a job as a laborer. And the farmer asked Oscar, what do you want to do with your life? I don't know. So the farmer said to him, go out into the field and dig a hole on that spot. So off Oscar went and started to dig. A short while later, he came upon a dog's leash, the kind of leash we use to take them for a walk. After a little while, he found the remains of a dog, and nearby the dog was this leather, battered and beaten collar, and on the collar was a brass disc, and there was a name engraved on the disc. He cleaned off all the dirt, and he looked at it, and the name on the dog's collar was Oscar. A perplexed Oscar called his dad immediately in South Africa and said to his dad, Dad, is there a message here for me? And his dad, after careful consideration, said to him, sometimes you have to dig deep to find yourself. And I think you have all had to dig deep this year to find yourself, you matric boys. COVID-19 hasn't been kind. The times ahead remain uncertain, but you are ready to face whatever challenges are thrown at you. After all, you are college boys, and I've never seen a college boy back down to anyone or anything. My next point, my 5th point is stay your course, follow your dreams, and don't let anyone detract you from them. Stay your course. In 1974, long time ago, during my matric year, I applied to Edgewood College of Education as I knew I wanted to teach. I knew from standard 6, second form, I wanted to teach. A prominent lecturer interviewed me at Edgewood. The interview went well, with my rugby prowess as a scrum half preceding me and successfully answering all the questions about literature. I was confident. This is a doddle. I'll just walk into this place. When he asked me if I read the classics, I promptly replied, I read copiously. I read Louis L'Amour Western classics. And I was serious. I mean, Louis L'Amour Western classics, they're classic books. These Western classics could not be placed in the same category as one William Shakespeare, with the result that my application was declined, and I was devastated. So I couldn't avoid the army, I had to go. Neil Armstrong said, "It is in the nature of human beings to face challenges. We are required to do these things, just as salmon swim upstream." So for the next year and a half, 18 months, you could call it my COVID year, I spent my time in the South African Defence Force. Before reapplying at Edgewood, I was accepted, though Louis L'Amour's saccade family and their exploits were still frowned upon. But I stuck to my dreams, and it got me there. And I did have a point to prove. Years later, I was promoted to Merkeston as headmaster. In my third or fourth year, we had a grandparents' evening, and I had to give an address. I was just about to start standing at the podium, and a grandfather walked in the door, so I courteously waited for him. But at the same time, I had an amused smirk on my face. The grandfather was the same person who interviewed me, that said I needed to read Shakespeare, and without it, I would not get far in education. Oh, the joy and the euphoria of it all, standing on my stage, at my podium, and at my school. And I looked at him, and he just smirked, and I smirked, and I just shook my head and think, yeah, but. Lesson 6 out of 9, so it's not far to go. Being at a crossroad where there are decisions that you need to make that will change your life forever. I wonder where I would have been today had I not taken a call in June 1988. I was a teacher at Clarence Primary School in Greyville and Durban, the only male teacher, having done just about everything I could in the school. My wife is a Peter Maritzburg girl, and we were looking to get back to Maritzburg, and I was offered a job in an engineering company that years later went belly up. I wrote out my resignation letter, went to Miss Gilchrist, the principal's door, was about to knock on the door, and the secretary, Katie, said, "Dave, there's a telephone call from the retiring headmaster of Merkeston, Mr. Roger Smith." Well, as they say in the classics, the rest is history. You are continually going to have to rediscover yourself throughout your life, and you will often find yourself at a crossroads where the decisions you make will affect your life. My next point is perspective and understanding changes with age. Perspective and understanding changes with your age. I love reconnecting with my old boys. I have a departing picture, ladies and gentlemen, of a 13-year-old leaving Merkeston. This little cherub face. And that's what I remember. And the only problem is when I see them later, they're married with children, some of them many children, some with a beer boop or maybe a beard, and I don't recognize them. In about 2000, I received a letter from a Merkeston College old boy. It came from down under, Australia. The opening paragraph was dedicated to me. Oh, the joy, the pride I had. An old boy writing to me. But alas, the paragraph was a shocker. He told me that when he was at Merkeston, he hated me. I don't know why. But he thought I was extremely strict. He couldn't see sense in my parateness about discipline and manners. He disliked me for the way I insisted on being well groomed and having shiny boots or shiny shoes. Obviously, to him, I was irksome. I was genuinely gutted in my office, and I didn't want to read anymore. But I forced myself to read further. To my relief, the tone changed after the first paragraph. He had been promoted to executive financial director of a prominent bank in Sydney. The remainder of his letter was dedicated to Murkiston and me. He acknowledged that his success in life was directly proportional to the love and the guidance he had received as a schoolboy. As you grow older and wiser, and you have more life experiences under your belt, what has been learnt at school stands you in good stead as you face the challenges and adversity that will come your way. My eighth and second to last lesson, which for me is very important: never be afraid to humble yourself and ask for help. Eric Clapton has been my favorite musician for as long as I can remember. I suppose his music and his lyrics resonate with me. He is regarded as the greatest exponent of rock and blues music, and some have referred to him as God. For most of his adult life, he remained in a drug and alcohol-induced stupor as he tried to find himself. He had everything his heart desired, but remained desperately unhappy and unfulfilled. Whilst at a treatment center for the umpteenth time, he suddenly realized how desperately unhappy he was. I quote from his autobiography: "I was terrified, in complete despair. At that moment, almost of their own accord, my legs gave way and I fell to my knees. In the privacy of my room, I begged for help. I had no notion with whom I was talking. I just knew that I had come to the end of my tether. I just knew that I had to get on my knees and surrender. From that day until this, which is over 20 years, I have never failed to pray in the morning, on my knees asking for help, and at night to express my gratitude for life. Before my recovery began, I found my God in music and in arts. In some way, in some form, my God has always been there, but now I have learned to talk to him." My final lesson, point for you boys: to be significant in your life, you need to devote yourself to serving others. I found out early in life that if anyone wanted to have significance in life, they needed to serve others. After all, that is why you've been placed on this planet. Debate, Mr. Marwick, has taken place as to why Mr. Holgate chose the combination of red, black, and white for the college colors in 1891. And I'm not sure if the Archives Committee have settled the debate. But for my final point, I beg pardon for having my interpretation of red, black, and white. The color red symbolizes strength, courage, and love. The color black signifies wisdom and prudence. The color white depicts faith and purity. These colors, gentlemen, and their representation form the very foundation of a life of significance. There is a surplus of human examples who have graced this school and who have lived a life of service and significance. And I take the liberty of providing an example. Previous headmaster, Mr. Dudley Ford, spoke of Skunk Nicholson at his funeral in this very hall on the 4th of March, 2011. And he said, and I quote, "Skunk's life was devoted to the spread of human understanding. His example and message were the temperings of justice with mercy, the overthrow of hate with love, of developing winners but never at any cost, on being tough on principle but kind to people, of embracing excellence and avoiding mediocrity, of drawing out the best in every person with whom we have traveled our life's journey. He talked with crowds and kept his virtue, and walked with kings and never lost the common touch. As you young men embark upon your life's journey, I ask you to embrace some of the lessons I have shared with you today. They are real, and you will encounter them. Best wishes for your final push, and may your life's journey be significant and fulfilling. Go and spread goodwill, and remember that these walls will now echo to the cries of those who follow after you, and the echo of your names will be preserved in these stones. Keep and protect your school's good name. Thank you.
Good morning. It is very special for us to be gathered here this morning to celebrate the success of the class of 2020, who have had such a challenging year. As all such events are, today's occasion is very much the result of a team effort, and I would especially like to thank Sue Kalmer for her meticulous organization and her attention to the finer details of the day. In addition, Caitlin Brent, Denise Mitchell, Simon Stickles, Rob Guttridge, Heather Lawson, and Ken Heckland, as well as their staff, for their assistance with today's ceremony. Our sponsors deserve a special word of thanks too, and we are very fortunate to enjoy assistance from so many of you. The continued support of our community to excellence at Maritzburg College is much appreciated. This year has been a very different one for us all, none more so than our staff and our boys. To the academic staff, especially the subject heads and the HODs who have provided academic leadership, I salute your dedication, your readiness to embrace online learning despite the many challenges, and your commitment to doing what is best for our boys. To our sixth form, you have risen to the challenges in your path admirably, and today we commend all of you for your courage. You have faced adversity and you have persevered when the going got tough. You have learnt many life lessons as a result of this pandemic, and we wish you every success going forward. May you experience the fulfillment of your dreams, knowing that you have already risen against the odds and that you are well equipped for the challenges of life. I'd like to call on our guest of honor, Mr. Bita, who will present the prizes. It is my privilege now to call up the boys who have excelled. The awards this year are based on the trial's examination results for 2020. Merit certificates are awarded to the outstanding academic achievers in the form. The boys will be called in groups. Please applaud at the end of each group. Recipients of merit certificates for 2020 are Yasfir Atwaru, Nsikayetu Bengu, Peyton Elliott, Raihan Hasim, and Calvin Hoch. Tabo Mbata, Hashad Muwalal, Tariq Mohabia, Darshrian Mudli, Jahil Moses. James Muggleton, Liam Muller, Zianda Nzamandi, and Tahir Tulsi. The next award is for the sixth former who has shown the greatest improvement from Form 5 to Form 6. This young man improved in the rank order by over 100 places, and this reflects his determination and effort. The Ian McAllister Prize for Academic Progress, Kwezi Hadebe. The following subject prizes are awarded. The prize for dramatic arts, Kaylin Thaver. The next recipient is not able to be with us, but we will celebrate him in his absence. The prize for information technology, Matthew Else. The prize for mathematical literacy, Thomas Rasmussen. the prize for music and computer applications technology, Michael Thomas. The joint Epoch and Optima Prize for Advanced Program Mathematics, Garth Fremantle. A merit certificate and the PwC Prize for Accounting, Hussein Musa. A merit certificate and the joint Epoch and Optima Prize for Advanced Program Mathematics, Matthew Dodge. A merit certificate and the prize for business studies, James Lowe. A merit certificate and the prize for geography, Jordan Benzie. A merit certificate and the prize for visual arts, Ziad Osman. A merit certificate and the prize for isiZulu, Lesedi Mosia. Merit certificates and the joint PKF trophy for economics, Sandesh Kitsing and Spesihle Zondi. A merit certificate, the prizes for agricultural sciences and engineering and graphic design, Matthew Smith. We come now to the special prizes. The role of Deputy Head Prefect at this school is a demanding one, and it has been particularly so this year. These 4 young men have acquitted themselves with integrity, dignity, and distinction this year. In the execution of their roles, they have brought a passion for Maritzburg College and a genuine commitment to serving the boys of their school. The Maritzburg College Old Boys Association prizes for service to the school are presented to Kent Goodika, Thomas Katzenellenbogen, Tabo Mbata, and Cade Morsink. The responsibilities associated with being head prefect of Maritzburg College are significant and very time-consuming. This young man has given commitment to his role, and he has led in very demanding circumstances. His humility, loyalty, and quiet inner strength have served him well. He leaves us having rendered excellent service to his school. The Phelps Cannon Prize for service to the school, Chris Van Heerden. The next recipient will receive 2 awards. The prize for good fellowship is voted for by the 6th form boys. The 2020 recipient is a young man with a warm personality and a strong moral compass. His deep love for his family and his sense of purpose draws people to him. He has a natural charm and displays true college character. An emotionally intelligent and mature individual, he displays respect to juniors, seniors, and teachers alike. His positive influence on those around him and his willingness to put the interests of others before his own bear testament to his fine character. A trustworthy and loyal friend to many, he is held in very high esteem by his peers. The Mike Brown 5 Pillars Award goes to a young man who fulfills the criteria of excellence in academics, leadership, service, sport, and culture. The recipient has impeccable manners, and his excellent behavior sets the tone in the classroom. He is extremely hardworking and self-disciplined, and was recently awarded an academic tie. His leadership skills have been evident from a young age, and he has led with distinction as the head prefect of this school, as well as the swimming captain. As a member of the RCL and a learner representative on the governing body, he has put the service of others before himself, and he has given of his time willingly. He is a talented sportsman, holding a large white badge for both water polo and rugby, and carrying an honours award for swimming. A very balanced individual, the recipient has also excelled culturally, and his involvement in the Afrikaans Society has been extensive over the last 4 years. He holds a Colours Award for drama in recognition of his efforts. A most deserving recipient of the Charles Taylor Award for Good Fellowship, as well as the Mike Brown 5 Pillars Award, Chris Van Heerden. Our next prize winner is a cheerful young man who is both courteous and reliable. He has a heart for social justice and has been a committed member of both the RCL and the Social Awareness Forum. He is generous with his time and energy, and he willingly gives of himself for others. This is displayed through his involvement as a referee and table official for basketball, a hockey umpire, and as part of the school's marketing team. He has been awarded a lapel badge for service to both hockey and basketball. His service to first aid is particularly significant, and he holds an Honours Award in recognition of this. The Nora Cook Trophy for altruistic service to the school, Sifundo Manyati. To hold double honours in a school such as ours is an exceptional achievement, and the next recipient has been awarded honours in both academics and sport. In the classroom, he is a dedicated and hard-working student, and his determination to succeed has ensured his academic excellence. He has enjoyed admirable success in his chosen sport, and he has represented the under-18 South African national table tennis team on more than one occasion. Over the years, he has brought considerable success to his school in this sport. A merit certificate and the prize for achievement in academics and sport, Ukail Naidu. This recipient of double honours awards has excelled in both academics and culture. In the classroom, he is a self-motivated, lateral thinker with an exemplary work ethic. He sets high academic standards, and he works with insight and commitment to achieve them. His passion for culture, and in particular music, is clearly evident, and his involvement extends from choir to the jazz band. He is a member of the Midlands Youth Choir and the captain of the school choir, the recipient of honours for choir, as well as colours and scarf for ensemble. He has also participated in school productions and MC Inc., a merit certificate, and the prize for achievement in academics and culture, AJ Wesley. The top places in this form have been vigorously contested, and a number of boys have jostled for the top 3 positions since their junior years. The following recipient is an exceptional academic with a sense of genuine concern for the well-being of those around him. He is a loyal and committed individual who never gives less than his best. A young man with great warmth and maturity, he applies his strong moral foundation to everything that he does. A merit certificate, the prizes for Afrikaans and history, the Ollie Prize for History and English, and the Bidvest Waltons Prize for third in form, Thomas Katzenellenbogen. Next is a young man who shows a strong sense of purpose in all that he does. He is level-headed and mature, displaying the important values of respect and integrity. In the academic environment, he is hardworking and driven. He works with precision and commitment, and he has reaped the rewards of his efforts. A merit certificate, the prizes for mathematics and physical science, and the Nedbank Proxime Accessit for second in form, Matt Zankel. Our final recipient has distinguished himself as a natural academic whose intellectual ability, combined with his rigorous and meticulous work ethic, have rewarded him with considerable success. He is goal-driven, yet his humility endears him to others. A quiet young man who does not choose the limelight. Those who know him appreciate his wit and engaging sense of humor. A merit certificate, the prizes for English and life sciences, the Val Harley Trophy for creative writing, the first National Bank Prize, and the Levinson Trophy for the Ducks of Maritzburg College, Ishalan Maharaj. Congratulations to you all.
On behalf of Maritzburg College, I'd like to thank our guest of honor, Mr. Bito, for the amazing value that you have shared with us today, and for the values that you have shared with everyone present here today. I'd like to thank you for sharing your personal experiences and the lessons that you have learned from them. And more so, I'd like to thank you for the incredible value that you have added to such a special occasion. I trust that everyone present here with us today can take something of value home with them today, and especially my fellow matrics. And with that, I'd like you to accept this gift as a small token of our appreciation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will conclude our proceedings with the national anthem. I ask you to stand and remain standing thereafter until the stage party has left the platform.